Good morning, everybody. It is Friday, June 9th, getting ready to finish off our week. I've had a actually really stellar week of trading this week, so hoping to end things nicely today. Yesterday was a really nice day for trading. Big sell-off in the pre-market, and then kind of sold off right to a support level, which we played on NASDAQ, and that basically was over here. We had called this out in our Discord group where that red line is, and I usually like to take my trades a little bit above it. So that's how the trade played out. I took profit a little bit early just based on price action, but it obviously would have worked with the full target. No problem there. And then just really nice price respecting support and resistance yesterday beautifully. In fact, this level right here was tradable on the 5-minute chart. So there was a volume cluster in this reversal here, and that was the level from it. So when we came up and made this lower high, that was a tradable level with the stop above the high there, and beautiful rejection there. And then you can see in the overnight session, we pushed up through it, and then look at this retest right there, retest at the same level, and off we go. So we're still kind of watching this level up here. This is that 43.41. I mentioned it yesterday. It was the big volume accumulation that preceded that huge sell-off. This high right here is not a very strong high. This is what we would call a weak high. And so I expect this to get taken out. This doesn't look like the end of an uptrend to me. So even if we're going to do a deeper pullback, at some point, whether it's after the pullback or before it, I would expect this high right here to get taken out. Even though these sellers did come in pretty strong, the buyers, took advantage of it, reaccumulated positions down here. That's what this consolidation is. That's big institutional activity, basically buying in, and that's exactly what we did. We took the swing trade on NASDAQ, but also in our membership, people were alerted to the fact that I kind of loaded up on my longer term positions in there as well, just recognizing that was a great opportunity. We haven't had a decent pullback in a few days, and I had some extra cash in the account, so I was sort of waiting to get a decent entry. So I took advantage of that, and we'll see. I mean, I might close some of those out up here, some of the swing type positions, close them out as we get up here, maybe kind of around the open today, and then hold some to see if we continue the rally. So, we'll see how that goes. But this level up here, I do expect to provide some amount of resistance. So definitely something to look out for there. There's really nothing else within that drop that's noteworthy. Everything was pretty mushy right up until that point. So, again, looking to cash in some of those profits early in the day today. And then if we get a little pullback, you can re-enter at a better price. It's a good way to go about it when big picture is still very much an uptrend. I mean, really, really strong overall rally. If we go out to our 4-hour chart, I know this is getting real messy here, but this was yesterday's sell-off, and we really needed that deep pullback. We hadn't had it. We had just been trucking on up. We got that little pullback. I missed this opportunity for a swing on that one. I just didn't catch it. So this time I was ready, and I kind of wanted to strike while the iron's hot. Now we could chop around sideways for a bit here, so it wouldn't be like an absurd thing for us to do, some more of this kind of stuff, and eventually kind of rebalance the market, and then get ready for the next push. And so if that's the case, we just hold on to our long-term positions, take advantage of any of these dips to fill them up if you have cash in the account. And if we start to see signs of a range, which this could be some early sign here, the fact that we made, this high and then this low and then this attempt at a new high that I would call this a failed attempt at a new high, and then came back down and broke this low. So, of course, we could just continue from here, but sometimes when you see, again, this sort of like a failed attempt at a high, that often is an early warning sign of going into at least a temporary sideways consolidation period, which, again, if we look at the big picture, right, big picture thinking here, and we look at how this auction has been playing out, what we see is that, price was rallying, and then really had to do some accumulation here, a balancing period here, big institutions, filling up their positions. And now we're rallying again, but we can see comparatively the volume up here is rather thin compared to down here. And so, we just want to see more sort of continued. It's like either price is going to continue up and this profile is going to just kind of stay thin as price, sort of continues up. Or what we want to see is some continued volume accumulation here, showing that price is being accepted above these levels. And that would be what that consolidation period, if we do it, would start to accomplish. So we don't know for sure, but that's why I say if we get back up towards these highs, I'll cash in some profits of the positions I bought in down here and, take profit on those. I'll hold some of the ones that I have no problem holding through dips, and I'll just keep a portion of my account just in case I can do some of this stuff, And if you're in our Discord group, and if you have especially the premium membership, you kind of see how I'm playing that. The free Discord group, definitely for my day trades, I'm there trading live every day, but more the long term and swing stuff, I only alert to the premium folks. And some people don't need that anyway. Some people really just focus on their day trading. So I like to just have my free day trading group and keep it fun. So anyway, let's get into the nitty gritty of, whoops, what did I just delete? Not what I wanted to. Oh, I see. Okay. Let's get into the nitty gritty of what we can look at for today. So realistically, from like a big time frame standpoint, like I said, this level here is important. I'm going to keep this level here at this 43.19 because you can see that it was a really nice rejection there, and it might still be a good level if for some reason we're going short today to just think about taking profits. There might still be some resistance there. So I'll keep that there for now as just sort of a reference point. In fact, what I might ultimately do, I'll make that a weaker line just because. Now there's this big consolidation in here, and you can see not like really poignant volume accumulation, but if we kind of zero in a little bit on some of this stuff, there might be something in here that we want to be aware of because we sort of blew through it and never retested. And so there's a decent chance that if we come back at that from the other way, from the other side, that we'd want to be aware of this sort of zone down here at 43.10, looking for potential long entries, or obviously, again, if you're still short, think about at least taking partial profits there. So that's another level that we're kind of looking at there, and really just based off of this little consolidation and then kind of jotted down and then back up again. And it's not a super strong level, but a level nonetheless. You can see when we look at the big consolidation picture, there's a little bit more down here. Again, it's more of like a level to be aware of than like a level I might trade directly off of. So definitely want to be aware of that. Let's take a look at the rally up from the overnight. So again, here's our little volume accumulation in that area. It happened right here. There's these little bits of overlapping candles. There is this stuff down here, nothing too notable, but there's a chance if price does push down through here, this would be sort of the last stop, and it looks like the level would be somewhere around here that we think about trading off of. The overall volume accumulation zone would look something like that. Okay. These are all pre-market levels, so I don't give them as much weight. But again, we just want to be aware of these types of things, where we might expect pullbacks to. Of course, ultimately, if we do come all the way back down here and retest, I mean, this was some pretty good price action down here that definitely, again, just a lot of volume accumulated in this area. This is not a very poignant volume peak, so maybe I'll consider a little bit early. We might consider this already tested right here, to be honest. If we look at, again, this is a really wishy-washy sort of zone. So, if you look at it like that, as this sort of bigger zone, and I can probably get rid of this at this point, you can see that this really already got tested. This was our rejection at the end of the day yesterday, right off the top of that, and then tested again in the overnight came down right about to that level that I kind of pointed out where the volumes were getting big, but there's not really like one level in there that's super that stands out a lot. Like we have the point of control, but if we look at the profile itself, it's this is a very, very really a nice bell curve, very nice bell curve. So very indicative of the market balancing and um, institutions accumulating or distributing positions, in this case, accumulation. Right? You can see that they then are defending the positions when price comes down to it, which is why we look at those prices. Also why we might get some reaction here because somebody was getting ready in this area and then pushed price down. And this, I would expect whoever was involved in that to defend that because that's a big old sell-off that happened out of there. Obviously, some pretty strong buying here too, but this sell-off was massive. Obviously, moved a little bit smoother and easier because it was pre-market, so there's not competing forces there. I don't believe there was anything up above that that we needed to be concerned about, but just in case, let's just take a look and see what we're dealing with up here. But I really don't think that there's much else. Yeah, I mean, so if we get up to these highs, if we blow through this level down here, you can actually see that comparatively, because the highs took place in the open session, comparatively, these volumes here are almost nothing. There is some volume that starts right here as well. So we could, I would be careful, I guess, I would say be careful trading this level and putting a stop above it. If you do, just guard it really well because we are in a big picture bull trend. So if you get a little reaction, take what profits you get off that because we might push through it and end up reacting again up here. We might end up reacting again up here. And again, it's not a very profound volume peak anywhere in there. It's very broad, right? Very broad. But right around here is where those volumes do start. So I think looking for, if you want to go to this is a 30-minute chart. If you want to go to a smaller time frame and look for price action to show signs of rejection here, may be good at least for a quick little scalp. I wouldn't expect much out of that because the momentum is up from a big picture standpoint. But we'll see. It is Friday, going into the weekend. We'll see whether those institutions want to load up going into the weekend or want to pare down going into the weekend. Again, recognizing that this does start to look a little bit range-esque. And we see that when we track our swings. So again, just to kind of zoom out a little bit, this is sort of like that big picture daily swing from this low up to this high, right? Low to high, and then we came down, and now we have basically this low up to here. So on the daily, you can see that as the high there. And this may be all we get for the pullback and then return the rally. That's why I'm going to keep some of those leverage positions on that I have. And then within that, when we zero in, then we start to see where we also have, and actually I'm just going to change this color because it's really pronounced. Then what we start to have as well is, we have these little pullbacks, right? This little pullback here that came up to the highs here. And then we see we had this pullback, attempted high rejection. And that's why, to me, this does start to resemble a potential for a range, okay? Potential for a range. Just be aware of that. So as long as we're inside of this, we're kind of good to go. Like nothing really to worry about that intermediate time frame. You can see we pulled back right into the range, right into this nice little accumulation period area here. All right, this a lot of overlapping candles in here. See where the point of control is? That was our rejection. right? That was the trade right there to capitalize on all of that. These are smaller and can be removed at this point. Same thing with this. I'm not super concerned about that level at this point. So, you know, that was your swing entry. That was your swing entry right there, and that's what we took yesterday. And so, what we're looking for now, right? Just bear with me while I get this off here. What we're looking for now is to see if these highs, if this green range can be broken in a more definitive way. And if not, if we get back up to these highs and start to show rejection again, then we just prepare for going into range mode, which means buying and selling the extremes. Buy down low, sell up high, and just take your profits quick. You can also be loading up on your longer term positions on all of those dips. Sometimes we do come down and probe, price. It's not impossible for price to come down and probe through this a little bit, but we would expect, relatively sharp rejections out of that as buyers who are aware of the big picture see those low prices and become very responsive to them and come in and basically scoop up bargain shopping. And that's what we like to do as well. So, yeah, that's where we're at, folks. Pretty straightforward price action, in my opinion, right? And we've obviously got some smaller swings in here if you want to be aware of just some of the smaller price action where we have things like this to just be aware of. There's your low to high swing. That's kind of within there, like that one purple. And again, now what we're expecting is for price to come down somewhere within here. And whether it's going to test this same level that we already kind of rejected off of when we were looking on that 30-minute, or come down and test this level that we never tested, or come down and test this level. But we basically are expecting price to come down and test somewhere within here and ideally stay above this low. So this is kind of our low, and basically come down and test somewhere within this leg. And that's what we're looking for. And that's basically where, again, on that 30-minute chart, all we're doing is pulling up our profile and see where the most volumes have been accumulated. Right now, they're just right here. They're sitting right here. And so, again, there's volume here from the previous thing that didn't get tested. I think if anything, this would be a level that I would be interested in price coming back and testing. We also might just rally up from here. You can see volume on the small scale, this big kind of cliff of volume right here that we're just coming right down to right now and sort of rejecting. And then again, bunch of volume accumulation here. And we'll just see, how much that stuff holds as the market opens and as the day unfolds. So this is not a super strong level. We do have nice volume accumulation up here. So that could be a sign of sellers, but it's also, somebody's up there buying. There's enough people up there buying. So price is being accepted. What we'd be more concerned about is if volume was just drying up there and the auction was not being accepted up there. Then we say for sure we're expecting some kind of a pullback here. But the fact that price is being accepted up there so far looks pretty good. Last thing I want to do before I sign off, just really quickly, oh man, this drawing tool always gets me every time. Okay, last thing I want to do is just look at the daily session volume and just see kind of where we ended up. So obviously, you can see the value, right? Accepted price was moving up, and then up here, this period, this was Monday. That's why there's no volume on it really. But that was basically just a balancing period. We stayed within the range of the previous day. And then on this period, we came back down, basically tested some of these previous ranges. This was that swing I missed on this pullback, right? That would have been a nice one to grab. In fact, I think I actually tried to grab this day trading, but you can see it probed below these lows. You would have had to use this little tiny low for your stop. And it just didn't work for me. I got stopped out by like one tick and then the market rallied. That was kind of irritating, but them's the breaks sometimes. And then again, we can see that, value here was really wide. This is really indicative of a good trend day, but the day closed basically right up at the point of control. So it wasn't really a trending down day. It was a probe and a rejection. And then we can see, again, value higher, but still overlapping with the previous day quite a bit, right? So not as strong as we would expect. And again, we kind of closed, up at those highs. And then here we go yesterday with this big, again, the profile looks like a big trend day, but again, we closed the day kind of back up here. And so we don't want to take that as too bearish of a sign. And now basically what it looks like is it looks like we're going to open above, obviously, yesterday's value, which is here. Notice yesterday's value area high lines up exactly with this support level that we've drawn, 43.10. That is exactly with yesterday's value area high. So that gives us more confluence with that level being a tradable level. So that 43.10.75, if we get a deeper pullback, that's a level that I'm interested in for sure. And again, you can go to a smaller time frame and look at that, but that's definitely a level that I'm interested in if we get a deeper pullback today. Not sure if we're gonna, who knows? This could be just a straight up, buyers saw this, came in, and we might just see more aggressive buying today. So we'll just have to see how that all plays out. But this is what we're looking at so far. And when we're opening above value, again, we always just look at a potential gap fill too. And again, that gap fill, where is that going to put us? Right to that same area. That's about where we closed the day yesterday, was right around there. So we've got a major volume accumulation from that consolidation. We've got yesterday's value area high. Notice it's also, we can take this level and it's, if you go all the way across, this was previous support, right? It did get a little reaction here too. We actually traded off of this yesterday. Previous support, still kind of support there. And so we would expect that support becoming resistance. Look at the support here. So that's a level I'm very interested in to trade, 43.10.75. And then we'll just see how the day opens from there. So I'm going to sign off there. I hope you guys have a great trading day. I'm hoping to finish off my week strong. I've had all green days for the past 3 weeks now. So I want to keep that trend going. All right, guys. Good luck trading. You can join us at dpmtrades.com. Just click on community, follow the links for the free trade group, and we'd be happy to see you guys there.